Good afternoon, everyone. Rick here. You know, since the very beginning of church history, when the apostles went out after Christ ascended and Pentecost occurred, there has been divisions in the church. People have been arguing and bickering over all kinds of things. Paul talked about it in Romans 14 in great detail. The whole chapter is devoted to this very thing. He says it doesn't matter whether you eat meat to idols or they say you can't eat meat to idols. If you in your conscience believe that you are free in Christ and know that you are free in Christ and that eating meat with thanksgiving to God honors Him, then you're honoring God. But if someone else thinks eating that meat dishonors God and they have to honor God by not eating it, let them do it. He talked about Christians who are weaker and Christians who are stronger. I don't like using that term because all Christians think they are strong in Christ and that the other person who doesn't do what they do are weaker. So we'll look at it from that perspective. What Paul that kind of takes away from the point Paul is trying to make here. We are all equal in Christ. We are all brothers and sisters in Christ. There are those who adhere to certain rules and doctrines and honestly in their hearts trust that they are honoring God. And in doing so, they are honoring God. And in not doing so, they are in sin, even though you are not in sin by doing it or not doing it. Why is this? Because it's not about the thing. It is not about the action. We focus on the actions too much and not on the heart behind the actions. We do that in the church today. It's been going on since then and it's going on today. We can't let this person in our church because he hasn't been baptized correctly. I was part of a church that said you had to be baptized by immersion. I was baptized by sprinkling. And God told me personally in a dream, because I was considering being rebaptized, that I do not need to do that. So I never did. The church would not let me join the church. I was active in all the other parts of the church, and when I was asked why I don't join, I said, because I haven't been baptized by immersion. And someone said, well, we could correct that problem. And I said, it's not a problem. I was told I don't need to do it. If I have to do it to join the church, then the church is not accommodating to Christ. That's my attitude. We need to focus on the heart, the spirit, and not on the actions. What one person is conscientious about, another person is not. One person thinks if you do work on Saturday, you're in sin and you're not honoring God. If they do it with a pure heart and the intent to honor God, they are honoring God. If they do not worship on Saturday and they are convicted in their conscience that that is a sin, they have sinned. It's not a matter of what you do. And this is a mindset Christians have. Is it worth arguing about? No. Because none of it has anything to do with our salvation. Our salvation is dependent upon God's grace through faith. The persuasion of the Spirit when He causes that Christ is truth. And we draw near to Him and feed off of that Spirit. That is our salvation. And what we do and the things we are will come out of that naturally. That's why Paul warned Timothy and Titus, don't do it. Don't argue about it. It's not worth it. It just divides the church. It will not unify. Paul's whole purpose in Romans 14 and in much of his epistles is to stop this divide and to unify the church, to show them that actions is not what's relevant. It's the heart that's relevant. And Jesus taught that too on the Mount of Olives. Until next time, God bless.